Hey, hey, hey. Fridays are for book club, but today, not doing the book. The book is a lot. Didn't get a lot of notes, so I'll resume next week with the book. This morning, I want to talk about something that I learned yesterday. I kept experiencing this thing, and let me just say this. I kept dating the same person. The only thing changed was the person's name. And I could not understand that fully. So I was listening to this, I was watching this trauma therapist on YouTube, Kobe Campbell, and she said something that blew my mind. I want to share the notes from it. The title of her video was, "Do I Have Trauma?" Trauma is a wound. Nobody has to agree on your trauma for it to be trauma. Past wounds that affect how we show up in the present and perceive the future. Phrases that reflect trauma. I'll never do that again. I'll never love like that again. I'll never let anybody hurt me like that again. Trauma isolates us in the moments we're trying to escape emotionally. When we're reliving the same situation and the same principle over and over again in the same setting with different people. Our brain lives in a loop. We steer where we stare. We steer where we stare. Our brain loves resolution. Our brain finds the same person who embodies the same traits. When we're trying to resolve a past pain in the present, we're not always conscious. Your brain finds someone who embodies those same traits, thinking, I get a second chance at this. Maybe this time I'll earn their love. It has very little to do with the person in front of you and towards the person you have unresolved feelings for. Trauma desensitizes us to the warning signs of the situation we end up in. Dating the same person over and over again. This is normal when you have trauma. Trauma is relational, and it has to be healed relationally. The core of healing is being present and aware. The core of trauma is being absent from the present because you're reliving the trauma. What moments do I relive over and over again? These are some questions to think about. What moments do I relive over and over again? And don't beat yourself up about it. You needed the wisdom of the wound to keep going. When you're trying to resolve past pain, in the present, we're not always conscious. Your brain finds someone who embodies those same traits, thinking, I get a second chance at this, and maybe this time I'll earn their love. This has very little to do with the person in front of you, and it's towards the person you have unresolved feelings for. And we keep finding ourselves in these situations because the trauma desensitizes us to the warning signs of the situation we end up in. So things that are normal to us may be abnormal to other people because the trauma desensitizes you. And it desensitizes those warning signs. You don't see the warning signs. You don't see the red flags. Okay? You end up in the same situations over and over again. I was like, oh my God. It makes sense. I kept dating the same person because my brain was trying to relive the past, right? That unresolved relationship. My brain was trying to go and get it right. Maybe they'll love me this time. Maybe they won't leave this time. Maybe they won't abandon me this time. Maybe they won't reject me this time. Maybe I'll get it right this time. Trauma is a wound, and nobody has to agree on your trauma for it to be trauma. Past wounds that affect how we show up in the present and perceive the future. Phrases like, I'll never do that again. I'll never love like that again. I'll never trust anybody again. I never let anybody get that close again. Those are phrases that reflect trauma. Trauma isolates us in the moment we're trying to escape emotionally. And when we're reliving the same situation and the same principle over and over again in the same setting with different people. That was me. Could not understand it to save my life. I remember at the end of the relationship, I like to call it the completion of the relationship, I was sitting on my bed like, why does this keep happening to me? I was a serial dater now. Understand that. As soon as I got rid of one, I got another one. And I see why. And I kept getting this. I kept repeating the cycle. Unconsciously. I'm attracting this person The same type person, because I'm trying to get it right. My brain trying to get it right, because the brain loves resolution. And I was attracting people from that trauma, from that wound, from that unhealed place, wondering why it never worked. We're living the same situation and the same principle over and over again in the same setting with different people. Our brain loves resolution. Our brain finds the same person who embodies those traits. That blew me away. I literally just had to take notes, and I had to keep pausing it, because I'm like, oh my God, I cannot believe it. And here's the thing. It's not about the person in front of you. It's about the person you have those unresolved feelings for. And when you don't heal it, you just continue to repeat it over and over again. Dating the same person. And here's the thing. Trauma is relational, and it has to be healed relationally. When I started to heal was when I started getting into groups and working with people. Okay? That's when I began to talk about that stuff. And then I found other people who also experienced the same thing, because trauma is relational and it has to be healed relationally. A lot of times people are trying to do stuff by themselves, and it doesn't work. It doesn't work. It won't work. You need other people. This is why I began to share. This is why I began to show up. Because I know that I am not the only person who is going through this. I'm not the only person that will go through this. And there's other people who also could benefit from the information that I'm learning, could also benefit from my story and my experiences. This is why I share. It's not for everybody, but it's for somebody. I'm telling you, I did this. And if this is you, now you have the awareness. I want you to look at your life, and I want you to ask yourself this question. What moments do I relive again and again? What moments do you relive again and again? Okay? And understand that you needed the wisdom of the wound to keep going. I needed the wisdom from that wound in order to keep going. And I no longer attract other people who are also wounded, and we are here just a hot mess. Now, are the people perfect? Am I perfect? No. I am work in progress. Do I got it all together? No. I'm getting it together day by day, week by week, moment by moment, second by second, minute by minute. I just wanted to share that this morning. Do I have trauma? Trauma is a wound. And nobody has to agree on your trauma for it to be trauma. That's all I have. I want to share that. That literally blew my mind. And you can find her on YouTube. Her name is spelled Kobe Campbell, Campbell. And my goodness, that channel there will give you, oh my goodness, you're going to learn a lot. She's a trauma therapist, and she is amazing. And I wanted to share what I was learning in real time. I don't have that many more minutes left, but another episode I listened to was how to experience peace. And peace is responsiveness and connectiveness. Trigger is re-experiencing the past and the present. That's what a trigger. Trigger is when you re-experiencing the past and the present. We don't pursue things that hurt us. We pursue things that hurt us, that give us something else that we're not willing to let go of. So I'm not gonna get into that. That's a whole nother video. But I wanted to share that. Yes, awareness is the key. Awareness is the key. Don't beat yourself up about it. Just get out of the cycle. Okay? Connectiveness, relational trauma has to be healed relationally. So get the help that you need. Okay? So you can stop repeating those cycles. Because I'm telling you, it doesn't change until you do. It won't stop until you stop it. And you're the only person that can do that. All right? So, happy Friday.